In this video, we'll be looking at section 4.2, linear functions and equations of lines. Slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is the equation of the line y equals mx plus b. Here we see our input variable x and our output variable y, and we see these two parameters m and b. M, as we mentioned in our previous section, represents slope. And we know, amongst other things, slope is a rate of change. In this context, we will be often seeing slope as the slant of a line. This M will tell us if the line is moving up from left to right, if M's positive, or if M's negative, the line will be moving down from left to right. B here represents the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is the y value where the line crosses the y-axis. So this b corresponds to the point 0, b. Graphically, here's the point where x is 0. This b will be the y-intercept, and you can see if I substitute 0 in place of x, 0 times 0, 0 times m, whatever it is, will be 0, and y will be equal to b. This is the point where the line crosses over, and this b is the y-intercept. How can we use slope-intercept form So how are we going to use this equation? One thing we can do with it is to graph a line. Graphing. Okay. When we're graphing, will be two steps. Step 1, plot the y-intercept. Plot. Graphing. Plot the y-intercept. Then step 2, we will use the slope, and we'll think about the slope in this context as rise over run, to generate additional points. Let's look at an example from our XYZ. Number 1 here says, give the equation of the line with the slope and y-intercept. Well, this is very easy. They're giving us the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 5/3, so we simply would enter in 2x plus 5/3. As always, I'll look at preview. 2x plus 5/3. You'll notice m is 2, that's the coefficient of my x, and b is 5/3, that is my y-intercept. Well, this question is from our XYZ. I'm just coming over to scratch paper over here on the right side. It says, give the slope and y-intercept for each of the following equations, then sketch the graph. Give the slope of any line perpendicular to the given line. Well, they give us the equation 6x, minus 5y is equal to negative 30. First, they ask us to find, give the slope and y-intercept. So I need my slope-intercept form. I need to solve for y. To solve for y, I will begin by subtracting 6x on both sides. Subtracting 6x. When I do so, 6x subtracts with 6x to leave negative 5y. These terms are unlike. I can't combine them. I could say negative 30 minus 6x, but typically we write our x term first. Negative 6x minus 30. Lastly, dividing by negative 5. I could show this entire side divided by negative 5. I will show each individually. Negative 5 divides negative 5, that's y. Negative 6 divided negative 5, that's 6 over 5. I could write this as a decimal, but in this context it will be more useful to have it as a fraction. Negative 6 divides negative 5, that is a positive 6. This is my slope-intercept form. Now I can identify my slope. Slope is the coefficient of x. It's 6 over 5. My y-intercept b is 6. And remember, this 6 corresponds to the point 0, 6. Alright, so when using this form to graph my line, first I will plot the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 6. Simply go up to the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my y-intercept. It is the point 0, 6. Alright, now this is my slope, 6 over 5. Well, we know slope is rise over run. This 6 is my rise. This 5 is the run. In this case, it's going to be 6 up because it's a rise. And run is always to the right, 5 to the right. Alright, so from this point, I'm going to go 5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 up, 1, 2, and I'm running out of room on my grid, so I'm going to go in this other direction. So this time, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left, and then 6 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll show that I still have this same rise over run, drawing a line between these two. You can use your XYZ. Alright, that's my line with a slope of 6 over 5. I'll show that now. Drawing a right triangle between these two. I have moved to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right, 5, and I have moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my rise. This is my run. So I have used this slope-intercept form to find both the slope. The slope is 6 over 5. 6/5, and the y-intercept is 0, 6. All right. The next form of equation that we will look at is called point-slope form. Point-slope form. The point-slope form of a linear equation is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And m is the slope just as before. Well, this x1 and y1 is some point on the line. x1 comma y1 is a point on the line. Any point on the line. Okay. It says the slope and one point of a line are given. Find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Well, they've given us 1 point in the slope, so we're in good shape to use our point-slope form, and then we can write it in slope-intercept form. So it gives us 3, 2 and a slope of 2. All right. So in this case, example, We have a point 3 comma 2, and we have a slope of 2. I'm simply going to substitute each one of these where they need to go. This 3 is x1, this 2 is y1, slope is 2. Here I go. Y minus y1, that's 2, equals slope, 2 in this case, x minus x1, that's 3. And this is point slope form, all right? Point slope form. Now, this problem asked us to get it to slope-intercept form. That is, we need to solve for y. So on the right side distributing, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 is minus 6. We still have y minus 2 on the left, adding 2 to both sides. And that yields, cancels, leaving y. 2x remains the same. Negative 6 plus 2 is a negative 4. This is slope-intercept form. All right. So you can see when they say slope-intercept form, essentially they're saying solve for y. Okay. One last form that we will see is standard form. And the standard form of a linear equation is the form ax plus by is equal to c. And they may ask you to write an equation in standard form. You just know you need to get it in this form. And typically when we see it in this form, often they will write a as a positive value. Our book doesn't define it that way, but you'll often see that. All right. This question says use 2 points on the line to find the equation of the line in standard form. Well, we just defined our standard form. Standard form is the form ax plus by is equal to c. We're going to need to get it in that form. Okay. The key is using the 2 points. We need 2 points to find slope. We need 2 points to find a line. We need 2 points. All right. I'm going to use this point right here. This point is 0, 5. And then I'm going to use this point right here. This point is 2, 0. Okay. From here we have a couple of ways we can show this, and I'm going to show them both. First, I can use my use slope-intercept. Okay. My slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Well, b is this y-intercept. It's 5. So I know that b is going to be 5 in this case. Now all I need to do is find m. Well, m is the rise over run. I can draw myself a right triangle between these two points. I'm making a right triangle between these 2 points. Here's my right triangle. All right. I've moved down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 down, I'm going to call that negative 5. I've moved to the right 1, 2. Okay. Slope, one meaning of slope is rise over run. M is the rise over run. In this case, the rise is negative 5. And the run is 2. So I have M is negative 5 over 2. I have B is 5. I'm ready to go directly into my form. Here, y equals negative 5 divided 2 x plus 5. That's using slope-intercept form. All right. Now I'm going to show using my point-slope form. Use point-slope. Okay, my point-slope form says y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. All right. Well, slope, I can find slope just like I did here, counting rise over run, or I can use my slope formula. I'm just going to stick with the slope I've already used. Now, y minus y1 and x1. Y minus y1 and x1 just refers to one point. I'm going to use this one here. Doesn't matter which one we use. Y minus y1, in this case 0, equals slope, we've already found it, negative 5 over 2. X minus x1, since I used 0 for y1, I must use 2 there. Alright, well y minus 0, that's just y. Negative 5 over 2 times x, that's negative 5 over 2x. Negative 5 over 2 times negative 2, negative times negative is a positive, so the 2 cancels, this leaves plus 5. And you see this is identical. Okay, but I want to get it in standard form. I need to write it as ax plus by equals c. So I want this term on the right hand side. Alright, I'm going to add 5 over 2 to both sides. This cancels, leaves a 5. Here we have 5 over 2x plus y. So I have 5 over 2x plus y. One last thing about this form, going back to our notes. A, B, and C are integers. That is, they are a positive or negative whole number. So if they aren't in that form, we're going to get them in that form by doing a little multiplication. So I want to eliminate this fraction. I'm simply going to multiply my whole equation times 2. 2 times 5 over 2 yields 5x. 2 times y is 2y. And 2 times 5 is 10. This is standard form. All right. One more problem from our XYZ. I'm looking at question number 9. Perhaps yours is similar. Find the equation of a line parallel to the graph of negative 5x minus 5y equals 4 that contains the point 4, negative 3. Okay. Well, it says parallel. Remember, parallel lines have equal slopes. Parallel lines have equal slopes. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. If it's asking us for a perpendicular line, we'll have to change the slope a little bit. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope of this line. I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to employ my slope-intercept form. Solve for y. I will add 5x to both sides. Negative 5x plus 5x cancels, leaving minus 5y. These are unlike terms. I'll leave them like I see it, 5x plus 4. Dividing both sides by negative 5. This divides and leaves y. Negative 5 divided negative 5 is a negative 1x. 4 divided negative 5 is a minus 4/5. Alright, so my slope here, slope is the coefficient of x. Slope is negative 1. My y-intercept is a negative 4/5. This corresponds to the point 0, negative 4/5. Okay, so now we have a slope and we have one point. Alright, so we're ready to go. We know the slope of this line is negative 1, so the slope of any parallel line is negative 1. So now I'm going to use my point slope form. Okay, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Alright, so y minus, our point here is negative 3, minus a negative is plus. minus y1, well, it's a negative 3. Minus a negative becomes plus. Equals, our slope is negative 1. X minus x1, x minus 4. So here is our equation. Y plus 3 equals negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative times negative is a plus 4. I might leave it in this form. To get it to slope-intercept form, I will subtract 3 on both sides. I get y equals negative x. 4 minus 3 is a plus 1. Alright, let's see if it'll accept that input. And that'll do. Alright, with that you should be able to handle the questions on this assignment.